Welcome back to an update video. As always, I'm using the Fractal theory explanation video, how it works, the rules, and so on and so on. I will link at the end of the video. Okay, we are not starting with AMC today. We are starting with the two bad messages today. First of all, BYND. I already made the update on the homepage on Tuesday, but because, of course, I making the video in the evening, and of course BYND does the reverse split in the morning. But there wasn't enough time to make a new video. But as always, if something extreme is happening, I make a post on YouTube and I update on the homepage. But now today we are talking about it. Well, there's not so much to say. First of all, what have we done? We broke our no-no line. That's bad. The bullish fractal is dead with this. There's no if this then that. And sadly, I hoped I was wrong. But the thing is, in all the last videos since week, I said the break of this level here back then, since then I was fucking bearish. And sadly it came true. Okay. But what now? So first of all, we go through the tracking. Then we go through what most likely will happen. And as third, because some people had questions, I will explain what will happen on Friday. First of all, for the tracking, this year since October can't be higher low anymore. Some other people are saying always, okay, then this is a lower low, but it's still higher low. Why ever? Not for me. A lower low is a lower low. And if this is not a higher low, this becomes T. So BYND is now looking for its V, its new all-time low. And to make that clear, we'll come to that later. I don't think that's the low already. Because this is a macro T, the biggest T we can get in the fractal. And you saw that already in FFVI. I will show that. This is too small for a T, for a T knife, too small. But for now, doesn't matter. We now looking for our V, for our macro V. After that, we will do the macro higher low, because the macro higher low was destroyed. After that, we can go to A and B. Again, I think that this macro higher low will take at least till 2027, because BYND is very quick in the uptrends, as you see, but fucking slow in the pullbacks. And I could bet after the reverse split on Friday, the volume will be gone. Just saying. Good. Now to the T before we go into the reverse split. You already saw that in FFVI. Because it's the perfect example. Here on FFVI, this is our macro T. And after we broke this macro T, what have we done? We dropped 100%. That is a knife after a macro T. Especially also, here was our reverse split. And after the reverse split, we dropped another 60%. So for BYND, I have to say, no financial advice, of course, but I think, whatever we're doing tomorrow, because what I googled, the reverse split will be on Friday. So tomorrow is the last day without the reverse split. On Friday at open, the reverse split takes place. I think the big knife will come after the reverse split. This is not finished yet, in my opinion. And maybe, because my price target was always between 30 cents and 10 cents, I think we will reach that. Just saying. So now for the reverse split, what will happen? Just for the people who don't know it. We're doing a 1 to 30 or 30 to 1, however you call it, reverse split. That means you will, for every 30 shares you have, you will only get 1. So you lose shares. Yeah. At the same time, the price will go up x 30. Yeah. So let's say we close tomorrow at 40 cents. That means BYND will open on Friday around, I would say 12. Right? Yeah, around $12. Yeah, $10 to $12 BYND will open on Friday. And to make that clear, my price target, because I don't think that this is finished, will be for the V after the reverse split $5 to $1. That's shit, of course. Next thing, because I already got the question, even with the reverse split, is it still possible to reach this target? And first I said, yeah, well, yes, why not? Because first it's the first reverse split for BYND. That's not so a problem. And it's not a big one. Yeah, FFI, for example, did a 1 to 150. That's a big one. 1 to 30 is not a big one. But I think I have to change that answer again. Yeah, I looked at it again, and the problem with BYND, only for BYND, because normally if a stock is only doing one reverse split and a tiny one, like AMC, for example, 1 to 10, first reverse split, and it's only a tiny one, nothing is really changing. Yeah. But BYND started its IPO at 45 and ran up to 232. The problem is that this price is already very high. After the reverse split, this lower high here, January 27, will be at $6,780. You won't reach that target anymore after the reverse split. The midpoint is sitting now at $45. This will be after the reverse split 1,290. It's under 1% that you will get paid that much. So B is not really reachable. Our T, where A has to go over, yeah, is sitting right now at $9. This would be $270. This is also already fucking high. So there are only two ways for this, to make that absolutely clear. And both are shit, also to say that. First of all, because of these prices, you will find a V, I would say between $5 and $1. You will go up to this trend line. But for the first version, BYND will be never ever be able to break this line again. The same like FFI. It will be a death spiral till they are gone. That's the first version. But to say that, if the V is between $1 and $5, this one here would be 30. This would be $2, so around $60. This is still a play. We could play them. But if you already have bought in here or here, and you want to hold through the reverse split, yeah. Second version, because fractal is fractal, this here is still possible if BYND is doing something absolutely great. Problem here is still, if we do that, I would say you will get somewhere in here a forward split. That's the same thing what GameStop did. That means you are not losing shares. Let's say we're doing a 1 to 30 forward split. You are not losing shares. You get for every share 30 additional shares. And of course, you get more shares. The share price is divided by 30 again. Then these price targets are reachable again. For stock, for shareholders, this is not really a problem, yeah, because nothing is changing for you. For options holders, this is fucking you again, because especially for options holder. It doesn't matter if it's a forward split or a reverse split, because the option chain is dying. Yeah. If you're still holding options, next week, you will, let's say you have January options for BYND. They won't be deleted. You will still have these options. But nobody else will be able, most likely won't be able to buy them anymore. Yeah. There's still something worth. And if you're still doing the move, you can still sell them into green. But after the reverse split, there will be a new option chain, of course, and nobody will see the old one. So even if you're doing your price targets, the volume will be gone. Yeah. So they won't be as much worth as the new ones. Splits are always fucking with the option chain. That's why it's already bad to hold through a reverse split with shares. With options, it's suicide. No financial advice, just my opinion. So we only have these two versions, and both are shit. And again, in my opinion, this knife has not even started. It's bad. Yeah, it's sadly just bad. But BYND shows us again two very important points. First, it's not a good idea to broke our no-no lines. They are there for a reason. If you break no-no lines, something terrible is most of the time happening. And second, fuck news and fuck fundamentals. I don't know how many good news we got here. I don't know how good the earnings was. And it's still knifed. Yeah. We have so many examples here on the channel already that fuck the news. So many. Fuck fundamentals. Yeah. And yeah, I said if we break 50 cents, we will fall down and we'll get a reverse split. I didn't thought about that the reverse split would be the news. I agree. But I mean, the result is, in my opinion, the same. Yeah, sadly. Yeah. 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 Nothing more to say. Again, I feel it too. Yeah. I had to sell the rest of my position for a loss. I don't like it. Yeah. I like bullish fractal way more than bearish ones. But yeah. And if you ask, you can ask me what you want, but if you ask me what you should do, I can't say that. Yeah. No financial advice. I am 100% out. Yeah. Because first of all, I don't think we found the bottom yet at all. And second, I'm not holding through splits. But I can't say what you have to do. Yeah. Can only show the tracking. Good. And the last and second bad message today is GoPro. And also GoPro broke our no-no line today. Yeah. And to make it clear, we broke today under the 60 cents landmark. Yeah. That means the bullish tracking is off the table. Yeah, because this is still right now a higher low to all-time low. But the problem here is with the break of this low here, this is to 99%, in my opinion, our little M. That means we will fall down. We will come up to this trend line again, in my opinion. Yeah, something between 84 to $1-ish maybe. Yeah, but most likely we will reject this trend again, and after that we will make a new all-time low. And if we do that, this becomes T. Yeah, same as BYND, for example. Earlier, yeah, because we only broke the little M, but in my opinion, this will become T. Yeah, so that's why here we had the no-no line earlier, and I'm not doing the same mistake for BYND. The main tracking is this. I mean, if we break over 180, okay, fine, I'm wrong, and you do something bullish, but I really don't think that. Yeah, I think we will looking for a new low. And after that, first we have to do higher low and then go up to A. This will take time. And I think this will take till 2027, just to make that clear. Everything else in that thing would still stay the same. Yeah. What I mean with that, this stupid part which made GoPro even interesting, this gap here, which would gap us over all-time highs, yeah, is still there. Yeah. The only thing which really changes is first we have to do a new all-time low. So right now, it's shitty. Yeah. And we are already so low, it doesn't even be worth playing puts or short this thing. Yeah. For danger of a reverse split depends on the price. Yeah. We will break easily 40 cents. We have to break 40 cents. It only depends how low we go. Problem is, this here is again a T, a macro T. So this knife here won't be small. This could easily bring us to 10 cents down. And then it gets again fucking dangerous for a reverse split for Beyond, for GoPro. Right now for time, it's not that a problem because we are only under $1 since 60-ish days. So GoPro has still at least 1-2 years left before NASDAQ is saying no, 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 no. Yeah, but price-wise, are we low? Yeah. So let's see. But sadly, 2026 seems to be the year of killing penny stocks. Yeah, because this would be at FFI, Beyond, FLNA, GNS, GoPro. This would be the fifth one, which is dying. Yeah, but at least we get the message earlier in this stock before a reverse split is announced. Yeah, so at least that. Okay, that was the two bad messages today. Now we jump for a short update into AMC. Really only a short one. Yeah, I'm not updating the whole thing today. Yeah, because there is not much. If you're interested in the tracking, just watch the video before that. Just saying. We got today a 5% run. It was a good one, but it's Wednesday. Yeah, I'm still not expecting something massively big tomorrow. Yeah, in the best case, something up. That would be okay. Because the big jumps for AMC are always Monday, Fridays for me. Yeah, something which never changed. So I have to go with this. The next problem I have here is this double button. Yeah, and it's on the 1 hour. It's also on the 8 hour. And normal Vs are not doing double buttons for AMC. If we do a double button somewhere here, nobody cares. Yeah, but this here right now should be a clear V. The only example for that, if you look at the 8 hour chart, where is it? No, yeah, that's a shit. No, yeah, was it here? Yeah, yeah. Here we had also a double button, yeah, for a little B pullback. Yeah. Okay, we can say that. The only difference here is this still looks like a V. You know what I mean? This here is not a V. I mean, maybe it's a V with someone shot in the foot of this V. But this is not really a V. This is bullshit here. Yeah. But okay. I mean, for landmarks, we could say we have our top, we have our low I, our midpoint, our D, and maybe our V. I still don't think that, but okay. It's pretty easy. If we break over to 60, this maybe is the B. Yeah. As already showed in the last video. Yeah. Then we should do our A, our B, and then we should go up. Yeah. If not, which would still be my main tracking, we need one more lower low. Yeah. And then this would be our T. And here we should do a clear one candle bounce. Yeah. Again, the only thing I'm really looking for is not going under 212. Yeah. This would make me bearish. It's not the ending. It would be bearish. And of course, here, breaking 160 is the same like breaking 50 cents on beyond. This would be bad. Yeah. I explained it more in the last videos, just for a quick update today. One last thing. If we go up here, or I hope we go up here because the tracking is bullish, the only question here is, are we gapping from here? Or are we still doing January 15 as I showed in the last video, which means we're going up to $3.50, $5, and doing this one last pullback. Yeah, as I showed in the last video. Or are we just gapping? Yeah. The only thing which I really don't want to see is a pullback up here. And what I mean with pullback, I don't mean something like this. Okay? These things, who cares? Nobody. No, I'm talking about something like this. If we do something like this, this is for me lower high. And this is the peak of 2026. And we will fall till end of the year. Yeah. It makes no sense. I say that again. Fundamentally, it makes no sense for AMC to do that. But we saw that so many times. Yeah. No lines, and maybe I should call it different. Let's say this is the bearish line because it's not the dead line. Yeah. But this here is our no line. Yeah. This is not to break. Yeah. It makes no sense. But we saw that now already 5 times. If we're breaking levels, fuck the news. And I say it again what I said in the last video. We have the best box office. We have Spider-Man breaking records after records. Cinemark is running. IMAX is running. But AMC is down 23%. Fuck the news. They don't help you. Yeah. The stock will do what the Fractal is telling him. End of story. Yeah. And it's also not NMR. I really believe that. Doesn't matter what that guy is doing. The stock will do what it's supposed to do. And hopefully, we fucking do the bullish tracking. End of story. Yeah. I will make on the weekend for AMC a new roadmap video with price targets are still the same like the old one, but so we have everything in one video again. Yeah, which is actual. Yeah. Okay. Next one is DJT. Just a little update and a perfect example why we always should wait for the higher low. For the tracking, nothing changed. Yeah, we had our V, not our all-time low, then A, B, C to the top, to all-time highs, then massive lower high, massive M, and that's it. Yeah, for the fractal for DJT right now, because we still have to do our T, and after T, macro T, we still have to do our all-time low. But for DJT, there opens now the play, the run to our macro T. And that would mean a run to $25 to $35. This, if true, is a fucking good run because this would be around 300%. With shares or with options, that would be a good play. So, the only questions in the last weeks was, should you already buy it? Yeah, because there were a lot of hypers here which had 100% we squeeze now. Also, my little friend, special friend on X, you know. I told my members to buy here and look how good we are. And since here, he is not talking about it anymore. Yeah. But who cares? The thing is, I already said here, be careful. DJT is always, most of the time, doing higher lows. Wait for the higher low to be finished. Yeah. And if it's not doing the higher low, and we had levels, if we would have broken 1050 or 1142, there was the possibility that it was not doing higher low. But then, okay, you missed 100%. You could still have bought here if we would have done that. Right now, I think everyone can see it now. Most likely, we're doing a higher low. Yeah. What does it mean? We had our V. We did our small higher low. We went up to A, pullback, went up to B, pullback, went to C, didn't broke 1055, and since then we are pulling back. For the micro tracking, we already did our lower high. This could be already little m, yeah, and this could be little t. Where is the place where we have to drop to? Well, our higher lows are always ending in a V under A. Or if we don't know where our A bottom is, it's the 786 fib, yeah, which is sitting here at 760. But I think in that case, we know where our A is, and it is this, and the A low is sitting at 792. So in my opinion, we have to fall under this. Yeah, this here is my buy zone. No financial advice. Yeah, the buy zone is between 790 to around 718. Yeah, of course, we maybe, if we're not just knifing, can do something like this. Yeah, but as long as we're not breaking over 950, which I don't think before we go down here, everything is fine. And my tactic on this is, because there is no 100% proof that this higher low is holding. Yeah, we could still do this and looking for another all-time low, just saying. But if you buy in this zone, yeah, you just buy somewhere in this zone, no financial advice, how much, on whatever you want. And as long as you're not breaking under this all-time low here, you're fine. In the moment you break 696, you sell it again. And you don't have a big loss. If you buy here, this loss is already greater. Yeah. Here, it's not a great loss. Yeah. And in the best case, you're holding the higher low and go up. Win. Yeah. That's why I always saying wait for the higher low. And of course, sometimes you miss a play because of that. Because sometimes you don't do a high lows. And some stocks are tending not to do a high low. DJT tends really to do a high low. And again, what is our price target for the next run? The next run should be around 35 to 25, something in this range. For the speed, if this is finished, DJT is quite very quick on its uptrends. Just saying, it always squeezes. Yeah. Just one warning, this pullback again, yeah, to the new all-time low after that, this will take at least a year, most likely, because you see that the pullbacks are fucking long. If you want to short that, buy very long outputs, just saying. And again, after the new all-time low after that, we're doing the macro higher low, and then we're going to look for the big runs. And I still think that this bullish run after that could easily be something stupid like this. But it will take time till we come to there. Right now, we would only look at this, but looks okay. Next thing, because of higher lows, little update on OKLO. Nothing changed on OKLO, but I think we're getting close. Yeah. Just for the summary, V up to A, 0.5 pullback, up to B, pullback, hopefully V, yeah, because we shouldn't break this V of July anymore. Yeah. Otherwise, something is wrong and it's bearish. But also here. I said, if we find this V here, we now should do the higher low. And I also said, in the best case, you're waiting for the higher low to be finished. We had two targets. Yeah. The targets for the peak of the higher low were under this little t, so under 56. Somewhere in this range should be the peak of the higher low. And we are already close. Yeah. So we have here two versions. First, we already got the peak of the higher low here at 50. Yeah. Then this here on August 12th, yesterday, was the lower high. In that case, for confirmation, if you break under 43.86 cents, I think that's a good confirmation that the peak of the higher low is in. You will fall down, come up, do your M, fall down, come up, do your T. And your target for the higher low is exactly 38.04. We have to fall under this level, yeah, for the finish of the V under A. Yeah, if you want to use the 786, it's a little bit higher, yeah, but the V is under there. And this here, again, no financial advice, yeah, this zone here, let's mark it, this zone here would be, again, the buy-in zone. No financial advice, yeah. In here would be the perfect buying zone, yeah. If you bounce here, perfect, up we go. We talk about it in a second. If we break under our low here, under 36, go out, because then we will really go down. But right now, bullish would show this. If we not dropping down here, if we're not dropping 43.86, yeah, it's possible that this was just little b, yeah, and we would still have to do one push, yeah. Confirmation for this would be 84.22, yeah, and we would still look for our peak of the higher low and then still do this downtrend. And of course, yeah, that's the shitty part here. What if OKLO is not doing a higher low? Yeah, the confirmation for this would be we continue with this uptrend. In that case, I would say everything over 56 is, in my opinion, already a little bit too high. Our next targets, doesn't matter if we do it doesn't matter if we're doing a higher low or not. Our next target for the really big run would be over 81 for our A. Then we're doing a breakout retest or a little pullback. Then next target is over 120 for our B, 0.5 pullback, and then we break all-time highs. And if we do that, in my opinion, we will break all-time highs. No financial advice, because this is just B. Yeah. For the higher lows, I'm really tending to that we will do one. Just saying. We did here higher low, after the A. After the V, we didn't. This here is not a higher low. Yeah. So the only thing we have is levels. Yeah. But OKLO looks fantastic. Again, I say it again. No meme stock. No crowd shouting at it. No one is shouting manipulation. No blah, blah. You know, it's just a stock on the stock market. Nobody cares. Yeah. So I like these stocks most because there is no blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's just doing its fractal and that's it. Yeah. And in my opinion, and it's not a penny stock. Yeah. So there's also right now no danger for bankruptcy, no danger for a reverse split. Okay. Now to the community wishes. It was wished that I do a little update on Cosmos Health. Tracking wise, nothing really changed. The last update I made was, I think, here. Yeah, back then I said for confirmation, wait for the higher low. I think we are doing that right now. For the summary, it's pretty easy. We have our all-time high here. This whole thing is still, in my opinion, the whole thing. Our macro lower high. This is just a small m and a small t of this lower high. I still think that Cosmos has to do its macro M and its macro T. Yeah. So for the long future, I don't think this is the all-time low, to make it clear. But for bullish tracking, we still should see a good run up. Just a little warning. Cosmos already did a 1 to 25 reverse split and a 1 to 10 reverse split, 2 reverse splits. Same here, really the problem, same like BYND or FFI. I don't think you will break this trend again. Yeah, this is your stop line, yeah, in my opinion, but would still be a good play. Second warning before we go into the tracking, we are now under $1 since around here. That's already a year. And we are sitting at 20 cents right now. If this goes bearish, if you break 16 cents, there will be a reverse split. I don't know. I didn't read. I have no position. I didn't read anything. If you're interested in this, look at the filings every day if there is an announcement of a reverse split. Yeah. The penny stock, this is already very low. Yeah. I know they announced that they have a stock buyback program. Yeah. But still, careful. For what happened since the last update? Well, this could be our V here in June. And right now, we're doing higher low. Yeah. We have two ways here. First would be, we already did the big one. We're under the 786. And this is just a small one. Or this whole thing is the big one. Yeah. In that way, I still think you have to come under this here. So you have to still come under 17 to finish this. And then you go up. The only important thing is you are not allowed to touch or break 16 cents. As long as you stay over that, fine. For confirmation, I would say if you are going over 35, that's already good. Everything over 46 would be really bullish. Yeah. And what can you expect without a reverse split? Your next A should be between $1.43 and $25, something in this range. Yeah, no financial advice. Your B should be already over 25, but under this main trend line. Yeah, and your next C is on this trend line and will be your M. And after that, most likely, new all-time low. Why ever? I don't know what the news is, but whatever. Yeah. And in the end, I think this thing will die because, or you do another reverse split here. Yeah. But after this M comes a new all-time low, then you go up to T, and then comes another new all-time low, and then you are at 2 cents. So yeah. Let's see. Penny stock. Dangerous. Yeah. 2026 is the year of killing penny stocks. Careful. Right now, hold the higher low. Next, I was asked a little update on TDOC. Also here, not really much changed. We had our V, then high low, A, B, C, lower high, midpoint T. Most likely here on February 2026 was our all-time low. Yeah? And since then, what have we done? We went up to this trend line again. Yeah, it depends who is drawing this trend line. Yeah, I draw it like that right now. Yeah, but yeah, trend lines are not really worth something, especially trend lines with only 2 touch points. Yeah, this is nothing. Yeah, just saying. But I mean, I think you would agree with me that this looks like a really good rejection here, right? Yeah, especially with this knife. For bullish tracking, we have your V here. This is easily already our lower high. This here could easily be our midpoint. Where do we have to pull back? Yeah, pullback would be around $5 and 487. Yeah, so in that case, it would go down. It will maybe go a little bit up, but your target is this level here. Yeah, 480-ish. Yeah, and again, this would be again a good buy-in zone. Yeah? And as always, you're not allowed to touch this V. 422. This is 422. Yeah, 420. If you touch or break 420, you know the drill. Down. Yeah, down, more time, whatever. We are not a penny stock right now. Yeah, we are over $5. Even if you break down here, I don't think the reverse split is so near because we are over $1. It's not so bad. But for bullish tracking, we have to hold this higher low. What are the targets after that? Next A should be over 15, maximum 80. I would say between 15 and 50. Yeah, somewhere in here. Breakout retest pullback. The only question is, we didn't really do an A pullback here, FIB pullback here, so this could be something stupid sideways like here. Yeah, just saying. Our B should be over 82. Yeah, here we should get a pullback. Yeah, so this would be a 0.5 pullback. And then the only question is, are you breaking all-time highs or not? Yeah, pretty simple. But first, we have to go down to 480-ish, hold the higher low, and then we can go up. Okay, and last one, because I was asked, is SPCX. Just one thing. I track that for you, and I also track it for YOLO for myself. I only say to that I hate these stocks, not these stocks, just stocks which are younger than 2 years, or stocks which just go up or just go down. Yeah, because this could be anything. I will explain that later. But normally, and I really have this rule, I am not tracking something under 2 years or under certain price action, because it's more and more guessing. Yeah. For the tracking itself, it doesn't really look bad. Yeah. We have a C, IPO top since then before. This C here could be all this. Could be an A, a B, a C, a lower high, an M, and a T. I will come to that in a second. This here is micro tracking. That means we had here our lower high, our midpoint, our T. Right now, I really think, yeah, here, down here is a V, August 3rd. Then we made a fucking big higher low, but it is a higher low, yeah. And then we broke out of the trend. Again, yeah, only 3 touch points. You can draw that as you want. I want it like that, yeah, but it doesn't mean anything. I think we will do now our little a. And this little a can be from exactly where we topped yesterday, today, yeah, around 150, to maximum 175. Somewhere in here. Maybe this was it already, or we're still going up. Yeah? Let's say A is at 160. You would go up. Then you would do a 0.5 618 pullback. Bounce here, bounce here. Then you would go up again. Then you go to your B. B has to be over M, so something over 175. And then you do a 0.5 pullback. And then it gets interesting. Yeah. Because then we have all these possibilities here. Yeah. To make that clear. If we break after this pullback, all-time high, the next point, this C here, yeah, can't be a T, can't be a M, can't be a lower high. In that case, this can only be an A, a B, or a C, macro. Yeah? And this here could be just the peak of a higher low. Or, yeah, it can just be the peak of the macro higher low. And then you're doing 0.5, 618 pullback and go even higher. If you break all-time high, if you're not breaking all-time high, yeah, let's say you're doing this, yeah, then this here can't be an A and B or a C. This can only because you didn't broke this level here. In that case, we have the possibility this is macro lower high and this is macro C, or this is macro M and this is macro lower high, or this is T and this is macro M. In all these cases, your next target is a new all-time low because you have to break this level. Yeah. And that's also the reason. Yeah. I mean, for this, it's not that bad because we have our versions, but because we don't have price action, yeah, I don't like tracking these because we didn't even made a full A, B, C, L, N, T, V higher low yet. Yeah. We don't have anything which we can look at, okay, this stock is doing this. We only have the rules, and that's why we can do these two versions. But to say this, it doesn't look bad. And again, yeah, one last thing for SpaceX. I think it was back here where quite every fucking idiot wrote on X, yeah, on this date, 1.5 whatever many billion shares will be set free and all these people will sell this and SpaceX will knife to 10 or $1. I told you, nobody knows that. Yeah, I don't know. Since then we went up, what, 50, 40%? I don't know. There are only two ways. All these people don't sell or yeah. So news. Okay. For the rest, nothing changed. Because of the video tomorrow, if nothing is really changing, I don't make the same video on Friday again. If something is really changing, I will do a video on Friday. This weekend I have time for a weekend update. Just saying, sorry, until the last 2 times I don't have time. This time I will make a video, and mostly I will make the new roadmap video. Yeah, so we have a new one and also actual prices on AMC. Yeah, but I think that was okay. As always, tutorial video playlist here. If you like to leave a like, if you want to see more, leave an abo, and let's see what happens in the next 2 days. See ya.